In this talk, I will introduce you to a new extension of Opiner that we recently developed. We introduced Opiner in the International Conference of Automated Software Engineering. We showed that using Opiner, we can automatically mine and summarize reviews about APIs from a Stack Overflow. This new extension is about mining and summarization of usage examples of APIs using Opiner from Stack Overflow. The front page of Opiner now shows a third search box where we can type in API by name to see all the mined and summarized usage examples of the API. There is also this most used APIs link where it shows what are the APIs that are mostly used in Stack Overflow right now for Java JSON feature. When we click on the search result, say for example for JSON, it takes us to this page of Opiner where it shows all the code examples that we found in Stack Overflow about this API. We can see there are hundreds and thousands of code examples that we found in Stack Overflow about this API. By clicking on each of these code example link, it opens it expands and shows the code example. It shows the reaction of the developers towards this code example as well. And when you click on the details, it takes us directly to the Stack Overflow post where this code example was found. You can see this is just one of the code examples. It has more code examples in the same post about this API. And then, so because there are so many of these code examples there, to be able to get informed understanding of the different code examples of this API, it needs to be summarized. In Opiner, we provided different summarization algorithms to be able to summarize these code examples about an API. The first one is statistical summary. In a statistical summary, we show the different visualized representation about the usage of this API. The first one is aggregated sentiment. It shows total sentiment count for the posts with code examples for the API, for this API, and we can see developers are mainly positive, but they also have negative reactions in the post where the code examples were found. In the other APIs used together, we show what other APIs that are used in the same code examples where JSON was used. We can see there are Java official APIs. Those are mainly used along this API in the same code example. In conceptual summary, we developed an algorithm to cluster similar code example of an API based on a concept. A concept represents a specific API feature where this specific API feature can be developed in different ways. So say for example JSON array and hash map using Google JSON that we just showed in the all code examples, and then we can see that over here as well. But when we click on that, we can see there are also 18 other code examples that we that show that also implement similar concept. When we click on this, see also it shows all these different similar code examples for this conceptual summary. So this can be very useful when developers are completing a coding task and they're looking at this similar feature, and then they will be able to see all the relevant code examples for this particular concept. The another summarization that we provided following the Java doc format is type-based summary, where we for each API type that we found for this API in the code example, we also grouped all the code examples for these for each type. Say for example, JSON array is a class of this JSON API, and and over here we have a box where we show all the code examples where this JSON array type was found. The pie chart shows what are the other API types that are also co-used along this JSON array for this API. And also again, when we click on the code example link, it shows the description of the code example. It also shows the positive and negative reaction. At the same time, it also gives a details link. When we click on the details link, it takes us directly to the Stack Overflow post where the code example was found. So in summary, in Opiner new extension, we automatically mine and summarize usage examples about APIs, and we summarize those statistical representation, and using concept-based summarization, and also using type-based summarization. In the all code examples, we just provide all these different code examples, but we follow the Python documentation format, which is single page summary representation of documentation. Thank you.